Hey, what's up guys? TS Games here, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm not actually playing a game like I normally do on this channel, as I'm predominantly a gaming channel. That's what I do. But well, as some of you know, I am LDS, or Mormon, as most people know it as, and I'm currently participating in a program. It's an online class that I'm doing through BYU Idaho, and every week in this class I have an assignment called Teach a Friend. And so basically what I do is I choose some friend, either it's a family member or a friend or somebody I know or somebody I don't know, and I teach them what I learned that week in this lesson. And an idea I had was to make this a YouTube series. It says I can make videos and share them on the internet, and since I do that all day, I do that every day anyway, of me being stupid on the internet and playing video games or something. I think I decided that it would really be beneficial to me and make it so much easier to do these teacher friend assignments if I just recorded what I did, if I just recorded my lesson and posted it on YouTube, where I usually go. So I will normally be doing this on Fridays. I had a rehearsal yesterday, and I had the idea just before I went to that rehearsal, and so I'll normally be posting these on Fridays. And so at the end of it, let me know if you enjoyed it. And I mean, I'm going to be doing it anyway just because it's an assignment and I have to, but I might do, but I will probably be posting these instead of a gaming video for that day, so I apologize in advance for that. So let's get on to this week's lesson. So this week we discussed decision making and goal setting. These are two very important aspects in our lives. The learning to make choices and learning how every decision we make on a day-to-day basis affects us for the rest of our lives, and it really does. And then goal setting, which is also a very, very important thing. If we can learn to set goals and then learn how to pursue those goals and eventually achieve those goals, that can have a huge effect on our overall happiness. And that's something I really stick by. And let me change the focus of this camera here. It's out of focus. My bad. I'll fix it. I will, I promise. Okay, that's good. Better or worse, I don't know. We'll find out. That's beside the point. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is choices, and how like I already said, in our current life, in our day-to-day life, we have to make choices every day. And whether we believe it or not, every choice we make has an effect on either each day or even way off into the future, where we may not even be able to see what kind of effect it may have. And that's what's important to learn, is we can learn how this choice might affect us, and it might help us to learn how to make better decisions. And so most of our choices are usually, when we're faced with a choice, it's usually there's a good thing on one side and a bad thing on another side, and we're forced to choose between the two, and we're forced to decide which one of these is good and which one of these is bad. And these determine a large extent of our happiness. And these big choices between good and evil, learning to decide which one to go with, will have just a huge effect on our overall quality of life, so to speak. I'm trying to take this from as religious of a standpoint as I can, for the sake of non-religious people. So one of the things that the prophet of my church taught, it was the prophet Thomas S. Monson. He's the current president of our church. Something he taught on decision making, on the choices, are what he called the 3 R's of choice. The first of which is our right of choice. So basically, I'm trying to take this from a non-religious standpoint again. Basically, we all have the right to choose. We are free to decide whatever we want. We can make those choices freely, and we have the option to make our choices. No one decides anything for us. I mean, yeah, sure, we have rules and we have laws, but that doesn't take away our choices. We can choose to break those laws, and we can choose to break those rules that have been set in place for us. So it is so important to know that we have the right to make these choices, and that's really all I have to say about that. The second R that Monson taught about was the responsibility of choice. Now, over here, down here, let's see, it talks about the responsibility. So, there's something he says. He says, we cannot be neutral. There is no middle ground. And this is something everyone should know, basically, is that we always have to decide one or another. We can't just sit on the fence about something, otherwise we're not going to go anywhere. We have to make these choices. It's our responsibility to make the right decisions, and to learn and to know what decisions are correct. And that's just so important to me, and it should be important to everybody, that we make these choices, and we make the right choices, because like I said, it's our responsibility to not sit on that fence, to not just sit there and hang around in the middle. We have to choose one or the other, and we just have to, I guess it just takes practice. We have to learn. I always learn just through trial and error on the consequences of our actions, and we have to know, we have to learn to understand what the consequences might be for each choice we make, and we use those potential consequences to help us decide between these two choices. And that leads right into the third R, which is responsibility. No, that's not, I already said that one. The third R is I lost it. Where did it go? Oh dear. The results of choice. That's it. I might cut out me looking for that there. So the results of choice. That leads right into every single one of our choices has a consequence, whether it's a negative consequence or a positive consequence. Every single action. I mean, it's Newton's first law of motion. I think it might be his third. I don't remember. It's one of Newton's laws of motion. And that not only applies to physics, it applies to our pretty much everything in life. Every action has an equal and opposite. Not necessarily equal. Okay, it's a bad analogy, I get it. But, okay, so, using this law, every single choice we make has a reaction. There's some sort of consequence. There is some event that will occur because of that. Whether it's a massive effect or whether it's just a little tiny effect. Usually a lot of choices are pretty small. You decide what to eat for breakfast that day, and well, that can affect the rest of your day. You choose to eat something small, or you choose to eat something unhealthy. You don't have very much energy the rest of the day, and you don't have the energy to complete those tasks. Whereas you eat a good, healthy breakfast, you'll have more energy, and you'll be able to push through the day a lot easier. And so, we just have to learn what the potential consequences of each of our actions might be in order to properly decide which of those is. And I can't teach you how to decide between those two. How to decide which choice to make is just something that everyone has to figure out for themselves. Everyone has to learn on their own how to figure out what the potential consequence of each choice you make can be. And that's why learning to make these choices is so important. That's why knowing how to make decisions better will help you in your day-to-day lives, because if we know the consequences of our actions, it'll help us know which choice to make, and it'll help us be happier in the end. And that's all I have to say about that. So with that, I'd like to move on to the second part of this, which is going to be a little bit shorter, and that's on goal setting. Goal setting, learning to set goals and adhere to them is really important to keep us, it helps keep us on track with our priorities. It helps keep our priorities straight, and that's the first thing I want to talk about here, is learning how to set our priorities, how to basically it is how to decide our priorities here and keep them in order. And that's how, and using those priorities to decide what goals to set to, I guess, accomplish those overall priorities. And so one of the way we were taught to set goals in this lesson was an acronym called SMART, learning to make a SMART goal. That acronym stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. So let me first talk about specific. So a lot of people there's like, I'm going to set a goal, I'm going to lose weight. That's not very specific, and it's very hard to adhere to that goal when you're not specific. So you want to, yes? But anyway, where was I? Oh, specific. So like I said, you want to make your goal specific. So rather than saying, I want to lose weight, you want to make a specific goal that you can attain. You want to say, I want to lose 30 pounds by adjusting my diet in this method, in this manner. It's hard because I've never done any dieting. I've never had to do that, so it's hard to use this as an example, but this is the example they gave us. I want to drop this amount of weight by adjusting my diet in this sense, and I want this done by this time. You want your goals to be that specific. So the second part of the acronym is measurable. You want your goals to be measurable in a sense where you want to make a goal in which you can track your progress. Which is easy with the weight example. You want to measure yourself each day or each week to see exactly how much you're losing, and you want to say, okay, I want to lose this much every so often. The third one is attainable. You want to make your goals realistic. You don't want to just say, oh, I want to lose 80 pounds. I want to lose 80 pounds in the next 2 weeks. No, you want to make your goals attainable. You need your goals to actually, otherwise, if you just set goals that are way too lofty at the time, then you're not going to succeed. You need your goals to be somewhat realistic. You need them to be enough so that they're an actual goal, so that you actually have to work at it, but you don't want them to be so lofty that it makes your chances of actually attaining that so low that it just gets you down when you don't succeed. That's the way I understand it anyway. The fourth is relevant. So you set I didn't mention this in the beginning, but the SMART goal, these are short-term goals that will help you work towards your overall priority. So your overall priority is gonna want to be, I want to lose weight, or I want to lose X amount of weight in total. I want to lose 60 pounds in total. That's your overall priority. Then you want to specify how much you want to lose each week. You want to set a series of short-term goals that will help work you towards that overall priority. And so the relevant part of the SMART goal is you want these short-term goals to be relevant to your overall priority. You want I want these goals, if you're trying to lose weight, you want your short-term goals to be related to losing weight. And time-bound, you want to set yourself a time limit. You want to say, I want to lose X amount of weight by the end of the week. I want to lose this much weight by the end of the next week. And then and make your goals time-bound, make them, stick a time limit on them, basically, is what I'm saying. And I think that's a really, really smart way. You see what I did there? I think that's a really smart way to set goals. And I truly believe that that's one of the best ways that we can do it, and that learning to set goals in a manner that in which we can actually pursue and eventually attain those priorities will help us be so much happier in the end. And that's all I have, just really all I have to say about that. And that's what I believe, and all of this is just so important to me, and I think it should be important to all of you. And So yeah, I'm gonna end this video here. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you haven't already. You know, all the other outro stuff that I'm, you know, it's an assignment for school, so the regular outro, I'll keep it short and not do all the self-promotion stuff that I normally do. And so, yeah, hopefully you liked it. I'll be doing these in the future regardless of whether you do like them or not. If you don't like them, then let me know and I'll do a regular gaming video and you don't have to watch these, but I'm gonna upload them anyway because it's my assignment, and I do feel that sharing this information with you should be beneficial to you. And so, yeah, I can take a look. Next week's lesson is on time management, so that's next Friday. I'll do another one of these Teacher Friends on time management, but until then, you guys just enjoy yourselves, and I will see you in the next one. Alright? Bye!